let's talk about what happens if we have a slope. So they gave it to us. They said that the slope of the line, so they were nice enough to say, okay, the slope of the line is 4. And they gave us 1 point on the line somewhere, only 1 point. And maybe its coordinates are, let's say, -1 and a 2. And then they asked us, what is the equation of the line? And I'm only going to ask you one form of the equation, which is in slope intercept form, which is this one, mx plus b, which is like the slope and the intercept. So what is going to change? Every time you're coming up with an equation, put like a placeholder or an empty box. So instead of m, put like an empty box. And then put x, and then plus, and then instead of b, also put an empty box. So when you figure out these equations of the lines, what that means is just what am I going to put in this box and what am I going to put in that box? That's it. Everything else is going to stay the same. Okay? Unless, of course, the line is vertical, that's the only time it's not going to fit that form, then it's just going to be x equals number. But other than that, that's it. So figure out the unknown, the mystery number in the first box, and what is the mystery number in the second box. That's what you got to figure out. Okay, but the thing is, in this example, they already told you that the slope is 4. So we know that the slope goes here, right, in the first box, okay? So we are good. So we already know that the mystery number that goes in the first box is a 4. So great. So all we have to do is figure out the second mystery number, which is the y-intercept. So here's how we do that. Now, you could memorize it or you could just figure this out. It's not that hard. When you look at this equation, if you're solving it for b, then you would subtract mx from both sides, right? And so b would become y minus mx. So I usually on my tests, I actually write this formula down for people so they don't have to memorize it. The only thing is we do have to modify it a little bit. So instead of y, we put y1, like a little 1 under, and then there is x1. This is called the subscript. So y1 is the y coordinate of the point that they gave you, and x1 is the x coordinate of the point that they gave you, and m is of course the slope. So let's go ahead and see if we can figure it out. Well, they told us that the point was -1, 2. So this is your x1 and this is your y1. So your x1 is -1 and your y1 is 2. Okay, so let's put 2 here minus slope, but they did tell you what the slope was. That was a 4. And then what operation is in between? Multiplication here, times x1. Okay, and we're plugging in x1 and that's -1. So it's y1 minus slope times x1. Okay, let's see if we can compute that. So this is going to be 2. And then 4 times -1, that's -4. And so when we're subtracting a negative, that's really adding, right? So we got a 6. So what we did is we figured out the second mystery number. Yay, us, right? We did it. So there it is right there. And that's going to be the mystery number. Let's erase that. And now we think it's a 6. So what's the equation? Y equals 4x plus 6. How do we know that this is right? Like, we should always try to double check, okay? First of all, the slope is obviously a 4 because that's the number in front of the x, so that's great. But second thing is that point, -1, 2, should work. So let's plug x equals -1 and y equal 2. Let's do the check here. Okay, so instead of y, I'm going to put a 2 just to check my work. And then there's a 4. Now I'm plugging -1 for x and then plus 6. Is that correct? So I get -4 plus 6. That's a 2. Yay, boom, correct. So that point does belong to this line. And so that's correct. Now I do also want to graph it just before we move on and I do other examples. So first of all, it has to go through a point -1, 2. So that means I'm going 1 to the left and 2 up. So that's my 1 point. And I know that the slope is 4. Okay. So if the slope is 4, remember that 4 is 4 divided by 1. So there's your rise over run. Okay. So I'm going to start at this point. I'm going to go 4 up, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 to the right. I'm going to wind up right here. And there is going to be my line. You know, I'm not very good at drawing lines without the ruler. So I should use one because it's otherwise going to be pretty ugly. Okay, it looks like that's what it is, but like, what's the y-intercept? Does it make sense that it's a 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yay! There it is. That's where it intersects with the y-axis. So I got it correct.